We're here for a good old chat, aren't we? So join me. Say hello when you join. Doesn't it? Well, I'm here. I am here. Welcome to live chat. It says, Paul. It says that I'm live. It says we're 33 seconds in already as well. Oh, there we are. I'm there. Hi, Karen. Hi, MJ. Welcome. Hi, Tony. Hi, Mandy. Good evening. Grey, wet, cold, horrible, yuck evening. Hello, Paul, even though you're just over there on the sofa. Hello there, Jenny. Hello, Caroline. Hello, Carla. Hello, Nettie, Judy. Welcome. Thanks for joining me this evening. Yeah. Hello there, Wendy. Hello, Paula. Yeah, not bad. Thank you for asking. Hi, Leslie. Key West. What's the weather like for you, Leslie? Back to lots of layers, Tony. Exactly. I'm frozen. It's really been, colder. It's as though spring has said hi and then bye. Yeah, literally. Hi, Sarah. Yeah, it's just really horrible. Of course, in the UK, this is quite normal. Spring arrives, we get a couple of weeks of beautiful weather, and then it disappears and starts to get cold again and wet, very often until June. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Paul. Andy. Crowns already? Save it for later. Save yourselves. Hi, Sally. Hi, Derek. Yeah. Well, it could all change. Depends on how many comments I think you make as well. Yeah. Hi, Ronnie. Hi, Sarah. Hope you're okay. So, the week has gone in a flash again. Over with. I just can't quite believe it. It's almost Saturday, almost time to record Sunday chat.
Sunday chat.
Hi, Kevin. You've put your heating back on. Our heating never went off, although it only comes on for a very short amount of time. Very minimal, because,
we did turn it off by accident.
Yeah.
And then it wouldn't come back on.
Yeah, that's true. We turned it off. It was off for a day, and then it didn't want to come back on. So I had to, get the screwdriver into the cupboard and fiddle with the pressure, which I'm prone to doing once in a while because the engineer told me to check it regularly. And then I accidentally topped it up too far and noticed the pressure had just gone beyond 1.5. So I had to bleed a radiator the other day to bring the pressure down. The things we've got to do as homeowners. Yeah, well, yeah. We have our little electric heater should we get cool of an evening, which is actually a little bit more economical than putting the gas on, really. Yeah. Spaghetti this evening, Sally. We've eaten. All done. And we had for lunch French onion soup. Absolutely divine. Even better the next day. -20? No. Yep. Clocks changed this weekend. Yeah. Spring forward to spring. Absolutely. You've got crochet thumb. Oh no, Nettie. I had crochet fingertips the other day when I was working with the macrame cord. God, that's hard to work with when you want to move quickly, Hi, Geraldine. What happened, Sarah? I missed that.
Mum passed away.
Oh dear. Sarah, I'm so sorry to hear that. That's terrible. Oh dear. Did anyone see the One Show? Did we watch the One Show last night? I don't think we did we? Sorry, I'm just catching up on the comments. Derek, you turn the thermostat down and you're now in your blanket era. In a vain attempt to believe that spring is here. What do they call it? Fool's spring, don't they? When it arrives early. And of course, we had that week in February, which really lulled us into a false sense of security, didn't it? And now we're back to wintry conditions. Oh, Mandy, that's cute. Thank you so much. Fist bump. Woo! That's lovely. Nettie, the macrame. Yeah, I don't know whether you saw the end of that video, but I've got a 2mm macrame cord now, which is much easier to work with, and I've got it in olive green, so I'm going to be doing some more work with that. Thank you, Thomas. Hi, Cheryl. You're on holiday in Cirencester. Oh dear. Okay, your signal is not so good. Any cake this week? No cake this week, but of course we are approaching Easter. It's going to be time for chocolate treats. Yeah, I'm going to make chocolate treats. Lovely little Eastery things. Paul's just got to do some shopping for me. And then, yeah. And I'm thinking of making a chocolate fudge brownie, the one that I made without eggs. It's fantastic because we're going over to a friend on Sunday evening, so I'm hoping to take that. Okay, all right, Sarah, we'll look out for that. Oh, Leslie, thank you. Wow, thank you so much. Cheese sarnies, nothing wrong with a cheese sarnie, Tony. Is Stevie? Honestly, he's probably running late again.
He's probably running his bath.
Probably. Shortcake. Oh, we have had shortcake, yeah. Not sure why we had shortcake, Paul. Was it a leftover offering for your plot doodah thingamajig, your working party, whatever you call it, down at the place where the things are grown that I haven't been to in probably 3 years. I love a cheese sarnie. I like a cheese sarnie and a bowl of soup.
You like cheese and beetroot?
Oh, I love cheese and beetroot. Oh my goodness, love it. Absolutely love it. Catherine, you're making, is that Barabrith? Lovely. We haven't made Barabrith, have we?
No.
Marmite on crumpets. Love crumpets. In fact, Paul is overdue making another batch. I noticed the other day when he went to Lidl, he'd actually bought crumpets from the shop.
Because they were so discounted.
Because they were very, very cheap, but they're nowhere near as good as that at all. Hi, Lynn. Hi, Marilyn. Okay, the one big thank you. Yeah, I think we've seen a couple of those, Sarah. We'll check it out. Linda, you love both hairdos this evening. Are you talking about my hairdo? Because if you are, it's all over the place. Cheryl, your friend got a part seasonal in her caravan. Okay, lovely. Hot cross buns. Now, Sally, they're a little bit fiddly, aren't they? I believe, because you've got to make the cross thing, haven't you?
It's pastry.
Yeah, so probably not. Probably not. But we're going to make chocolate treats. Lemon meringue pie. Love a lemon meringue pie. We used to have that quite regularly, but it was one of those ones, not with Paul, but when we were kids. It was one of those ones that you made from a packet. So it had all the elements in packets. And then you just sort of added water or egg and, sort of made it. Yeah, maybe we should do lemon meringue pie, Paul.
Well, it's on my list.
It's on the list. Oh, I haven't seen this fabled list. You never shared it with me. Yeah, maybe. Good one. Barabrith is a Welsh. How could you describe it? Is it like a fruit loaf?
It's like fruit loaf.
Yeah, it's like a Welsh fruit loaf, Marilyn. It's really, really delicious. Simnel cake.
Is it malted?
Never made a simnel cake. Oh, you've made one, Paul. When was that? I don't remember that.
I think I was about 11 with Mum because Mum liked marzipan.
Okay. Oh, has it got marzipan in it?
It's covered in marzipan.
Is
and
it?
There's a layer in it as well.
And is it had for Easter? Is it like an Easter cake?
Yeah.
Mm. No, I've not seen Jeanette yet. Maybe she's forgotten the time change.
Maybe she's in the bath with Stevie.
I wouldn't make any kind of accusations, Paul, if I were you. Sorry, just catching up. You soak the dried fruit in tea overnight. Okay. You made something like that once, Paul, and put the tea leaves into it.
It was lovely.
It was vile. People in the street.
Kids out for Easter.
Have they finished now? The school's broken up for Easter today. Okay. Yeah. They were easy to do, Paula, weren't they? Really easy. So lemon meringue, is it a pastry base or a biscuit base? Or can it be either?
Mum used to make pastry.
Yeah, I think it can have either. Yeah. Well, that sounds divine, Derek. We're going to be making little chocolate nests, but we're going to be using shredded wheat because that looks more like a nest. Tony, you made soda bread in the air fryer. Lovely. Paul, what did you make today? Was that a soda bread?
Yeah, Irish soda bread.
Yeah, Paul made a soda bread today. It was rather nice. Lemon meringue cheesecake. I like any kind of cheesecake, but we very rarely have it. A friend of ours once did one of those American-style baked cheesecakes. I remember making those out of packets in the 80s. Just add water. Okay. Oh, I see, Linda. I see what you mean. When we were doing the cookery video, yeah? Gosh, can't remember what I even did to my hair. I don't even think about my hair these days. I just occasionally give it a bit of a mess up, and that's kind of how it is, I don't do anything to it other than cut it occasionally. It's looking a little bit of a mess, but hey, could do with a bit of a tone up as well. So Jenny, the croutons were simply grilled, toasted baguette with a bit of cheese on and then bunged on top. What they do very often is they serve the soup in a bowl, they put the cheesy croutons on top and then grill the whole thing.
But the bowl gets very hot.
Of course the bowl gets hot doing that, but we couldn't be bothered doing that the other day when we were doing the video, so we just bunged it on. Hello there, David. Is it easy for a veggie diet? Very easy. I mean, you've got all the inspiration you could possibly need from our playlists. There are literally hundreds of recipes now, um, all vegetarian. Yeah, we eat a wide variety of food. I think the only thing you have to pay attention to if you're switching to vegetarian is that you're getting enough protein. But of course, the older you get, very often the less protein you need in your diet. So, yeah, and there's so many different ways of achieving protein in a vegetarian diet, pulses, lentils, um, you know, all of those kind of things, soya. Of course, you've got things like corn now, tofu, all of that. Soya is a complete protein, so that's really handy. We cook with soya quite regularly, and we eat beans probably 4 or 5 times a week. So, yeah, it's really easy and very healthy. And we feel good, you know. We also take supplements as well. We take multivitamins, vitamin D, vitamin K, omega 3, 6, and 9, and vitamin C as well every day. New York cheesecake, yes.
Is that the baked one?
Oh, is Leslie going? Bye, Leslie. Sorry if I've missed any comments. Onions are good. Oh, yeah, B12. Well, of course, we get that in the form of either yeast extract or the yeast flakes that we use very regularly. Excuse me. Got a sniffly nose at the moment. It's because of the temperature change. Yeah, nuts and seeds as well. I think we have nuts every day. Our evening snack, about an hour and a half after we've eaten our dinner, maybe 2 hours, we have a little bowl of dried fruit and nut virtually every night. And if we don't have that, we'll often have a bowl of sliced apple with yogurt on top and some dried fruit and nuts on top of that. So, yeah, it's paying attention to what you eat, I think. And a lot of people don't. I know so many people who live on takeaways. And I mean, very often I'm pretty sure, a lot of places provide quality food, but I think variety is important. And I think being aware of what you're eating and what's actually in it is very important. That's why we cook the majority of things we eat from scratch. We know exactly what's going into them. When we do our own bread, we know exactly what's going in the loaf, no preservatives, good flours, wholemeal. So, and also we pay attention to the amount of fiber that we eat as well, because fiber is really important, you know. Exactly, Jenny. There are healthy choices to be had, I'm sure, in takeaway food. And, it's very, very occasional that we will have a takeaway. Um, it- in fact, I think the last time we had a takeaway was when we went to my sister's, which was quite a long time ago. We used to have Indian takeaway occasionally because there is a huge variety of Indian food on our doorstep and lots of good takeaways. So we used to get a curry occasionally.
That was years
But
ago.
it was many, many, many moons ago. We're talking 20 plus years ago, really. I think we've maybe had one or two takeaways here. I think when we were doing some major decorating at one point, I think we had a takeaway. But yeah, very, very rare. So we believe in cooking fresh, cooking at home, exactly what's going into it, and also using leftovers. Sandra, did we lose much weight? No, not really. Because I think at the time we were both still kind of drinking quite a lot. Um, Even though we were vegetarian, we were still, yeah, we were still enjoying wine. And we did drink quite a bit. And of course, a glass of wine is 300 calories, you know? And we'd think nothing of drinking a bottle a night, you know? So, yeah, I think that sort of balanced things out. But yeah, we're not big drinkers nowadays. I have a very occasional glass of wine. If champagne is on offer, then I can't say no because I love champagne. Um, yeah, and you know, also economically, I mean, we've seen people nosy, people literally having takeout after takeout, delivery of food. We could not afford to do that, even if we wanted to. So we believe in being economical and stretching out our meals. You know, we live on leftovers very often, and we'll make those leftovers into other things. I think we've talked about it many times before. You know, if we're making a bolognese will then be eaten on the first night. Maybe on the second night, it will be turned into a chili simply by adding some fried spices and cooking it again. And then any remainders will be put into a soup, you know? So, yeah, it is extremely expensive. And I honestly don't know how people do afford it. I mean, obviously, we are on a much lower wage than, say, you know, an engineer on 80,000 or whatever, you know? And there are quite a number of people in this area in the entertainment industry as well. Um, you know, two big incomes. So I guess if you've got that in a household, you can afford to splash out a little bit more often. But we like to be as economical as possible. We have had times in our lives where we've had disposable income. So we've experienced that. Um, but now we are going through a period of time where we're hand to mouth. And actually, there's something kind of quite nice about that, you know, because you're not frivolous, you don't overspend, we don't do big shopping hauls and all of that, you know. So, yeah, that's the way it is. Well, you know, I'm all for treating yourself once in a while, you know, but for us, a treat would be having I don't know, a really nice lasagna or a macaroni cheese or a cauliflower cheese, something like that, you know, something really rich. Yeah. Ooh, lentil and beetroot burgers, lovely. So, Jenny, becoming celiac made you lose weight. Okay. We, believe it or not, we don't have an awful lot of sweet things. I know I do bake quite a few sweet things, but very often those things are eaten over a few days and very often shared with our neighbour down the road. So we don't tend to have chocolate in anymore. We don't tend to have biscuits and cakes unless there is surplus from when Paul has a work social down at the plot, you know, brings anything home, and then we'll have that biscuits with tea, you know, things like that. I think our weight has plateaued a little bit because I remember a few weeks ago, well, maybe a month ago, I tried to get into my green cords and I couldn't do them up. And then last week I put them on and I could get into them. So I've lost a little bit of weight, which is good. We did have some hail the other day. I think it was on my vlog. Yeah. And we had a crack of thunder as well. Just catching up with the comments. There's 70 of you here at the moment. Thank you so much for joining me. Food is getting expensive, and I think, I think it's up to people to be creative. And I think that's what's missing very often in today's society with a lot of younger people. I don't think they have the cookery skills to embark on doing all their own cooking. And I think also people are generally quite lazy. I think people may be lazy, maybe not having much time or perceiving themselves to not have much time. I think past generations have been far busier in life in general and probably worked a lot harder and still managed to fit in cooking. And that's where things like batch cooking comes in, spending a few hours on a Sunday doing batch cooking and freezing. So you've always got something in. Our freezer is full of stuff. There is always something, even if we weren't to go shopping for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, we'd still be able to cook meals. The cupboards would probably be starting to get bare after 4 weeks, but we could find something to put together. Paul's Easter egg? Are you kidding? I'm Paul's Easter egg. Well, look, I'm hoping for a Cadbury's cream egg at some point. A couple of years ago, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, I decided that I really wanted to treat myself, and I bought a box of, I think it was 48 Cadbury's cream eggs. And it came in one of those shop display boxes, literally with a pop-up thing at the back, Cadbury's cream eggs. And I think I was satisfying that desire as a child to have more than one cream egg at a time. And of course, it took me ages to get through them, and I gave away loads of them. In fact, we took, I think, 10 of them over to Vivi's when she was still living at the flat in Sydenham. And I did an Easter egg hunt for her around the flat. So I got rid of 10, but she had actually bought me a pack of 6. So I gave away 10 and gained 6 back. So yeah, that was crazy. Paul, though, you need to get some mini eggs, though, when you go shopping, so I can make my Easter nests next week. Just catching up with the comments, everybody. Okay, Catherine, your 21-year-old loves cooking. Very small kitchen. Well, yeah, I've cooked in a few small kitchens over the years. I mean, we had a small kitchen at Whitehall Road, didn't we, Paul? Very small kitchen.
Yeah.
And then we had a slightly larger one in the flat that we lived in, and that had a little seating area as well. I loved that kitchen, actually. It was really sweet. And then we've got this kitchen, of course, which is quite small too. There isn't a huge amount of worktop. So you kind of have to adapt, Yeah, that's good, Tony. Always got something in. Well, David, if you ever need any tips, you only need to ask. And most of my videos have got very clear instructions for cooking the dish. And, there are a few skills involved. I mean, especially with making pastry or making a sauce, for example. But I've got videos on both of those. And yeah, they're normally sort of really well explained. Yeah. So I hope you find them useful. Yeah, they're so funny, those big boxes, aren't they? Terry's chocolate orange cream eggs. Ooh, I've not had one of those. Well, I'm hoping the little mini eggs are good. Yeah. I do love a cream egg. Well, yeah, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I don't eat them very often. And as long as they taste the same, I don't mind. Oh, hi, Caroline. Well, I hope you're feeling okay. Well, Cadbury's was, one of the best chocolates. People say it's changed. I recently had some Cadbury's and it tasted the same to me. Didn't taste any different at all. I didn't look at the ingredients. Yeah, Grace, I did believe that bunnies laid eggs for many, many years until quite recently. Oh, okay, Caroline. Well, yeah, Sarah, I mean, it's really sad, but I think when somebody's been poorly for a while, part of you is prepared, you know. Thank you, Linny. I appreciate that. Gone in a week. Goodness me, Derek. I mean, I do love them. And of course, as a child, I used to dream of a huge cream egg, and of course, in reality, no. Oh, I love Terry's chocolate oranges. Love them. We had them at Christmas. We had a chocolate orange one and a mint one. I have to say they were gorgeous. I wolfed them down. Well, we both did, didn't we?
What was that?
So, Terry's chocolate orange, Paul.
Oh.
I say it was a Terry's chocolate orange, Paul.
I wasn't listening.
Honestly. Good morning from Australia.
Australia?
Hi. Australia. I can speak Australian. Yeah, that's right. It's nice. Different, unusual. I do beg my pardon. I mean, I'm sorry. Didn't mean to offend. But we love Kath and Kim. Big Kath and Kim fans. And good news about Magda as well. Really good news about Magda. Hope I'm dressing up as an Easter bunny. Yes, I will be doing that, Mandy, and running around the neighbourhood distributing eggs. Not. Jaffa cakes. Love Jaffa cakes, Sally. Haven't had a Jaffa cake for years.
You can make Jaffa cakes.
I'm not making Jaffa cakes, Paul.
We can make large Jaffa
No, I'm not doing that.
Do they do large Jaffa cakes?
I don't know. Probably somebody. Well, Linny, cream eggs have been going since, is it the 70s they started cream eggs? I think it was the 70s. Hello, aloha. Terry's chocolate organ. Derek, I think that was maybe a different show you were watching. I do remember that. Wasn't it like Indiana Jones?
It was. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. We've got 83 people watching. We're 34 minutes in. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. It's rather fun. We're all talking about chocolate. Hello there, Richard. Southern Maine. How lovely. It sounds
Jessica.
Sounds so glamorous, doesn't it? Southern Maine. Chocolate organ. Derek, you're not going to live that down. Derek and the chocolate organ. It's a little bit like James and the Giant Peach, isn't it? Except for adults. Anyway, shut up, Richard. Is Jessica from Southern Maine? Is it Southern Maine? Oh, she's Maine, isn't she? You're eating salt and vinegar Pringles. How lovely. I like the sour cream Pringles, although we never have them. We never have things like that, although I do have tortilla chips. Hello, Gail. The Easter bilby. It's a small marsupial. How odd. I wonder, I mean, I do understand why I thought rabbits laid eggs, because, you know, you've got all these little pictures of Easter bunnies, you know, with flowers and eggs all around them. And, you know, Easter eggs, the Easter bunny, da 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 da. You know, it's logical, isn't it? Tell me it's logical. Yeah. Anyway. Kath and Kim. Oh, Kath and Kim, Mandy. Kath and Kim's fantastic comedy. It's brilliant. Well, yeah, the rabbits and what's that awful thing they introduced? Myxomatosis. Oh, terrible. That was horrible, wasn't it? Good, I'm glad you've had a laugh, Linny. Jaffa cakes in a trifle. Wow. Sorry, just catching up. I missed a few comments. I think I've got everything. What eggs are those? I missed that comment. Sorry, I have missed a couple of things. My Easter bunny journey.
Posh one with ice flowers stuck on the front.
I remember
the 70s.
I remember we were quite fortunate as children. Looking back, my parents didn't have a lot of money, but both of them worked at one stage. But at Easter, we would get eggs from both sets of grandparents. So we'd probably get they were big Easter eggs in those days, and they had lots of chocolates in them, you know. So we'd get an egg from both sets of grandparents. My uncle, my great uncle Les, he would buy us an egg each as well. Mom and Dad would get us an egg. So we'd have like 4 or 5 big eggs, you know, and it would last for hours. You know, it would last for days. Yeah. Ronnie, Paul's job is to go to the supermarket. Absolutely. I don't do supermarkets. I don't like supermarkets. I don't know how they work. Paul has a route and he goes around and does it as quickly as possible. If I'm there, I just get in the way because I go off looking at things. And Paul's like, no, we do it in this order. And occasionally say, go and find this, and it'll take me half an hour to find it. And he'll just stand there tutting at me as if I'm completely useless. Sorry, I've just got to move my legs. And what I was going to say is I remember those eggs that were sort of iced. And I think my Uncle Les got us all one year with our names on. So yeah, he must have had a few quid stashed away probably. Yeah. So yeah, Paul goes to the supermarket most weeks and does a very frugal shop. So we shop at Lidl. Well, he shops at Lidl. I've not even been to the new Lidl yet. I've not even seen it. Um, and occasionally we get a delivery from Sainsbury's, and our bran sticks, which we have for breakfast, Paul goes to Waitrose to get those because they do them in large boxes and they're quite good value. But we don't buy anything else from Waitrose. It's far too posh for us, far too expensive and a bit of a rip-off. Yeah. You pay for the wide aisles at Waitrose.
Well, you get wide aisles at Lidl.
Well, I know you do now, but do you remember, does anybody remember Quick Save?
No.
Okay, Paul doesn't remember Quick Save. So when we were kids, we had a local supermarket and it went through several iterations. So it was a C&C at one point, then it was a something else, and then it became a Quick Save. Quick Save, it was dangerous because they would pile everything high, very, very high. So you risked a box of baked beans falling on you at some point. And it was like a free-for-all. You know, it was just crazy because the prices were so cheap and it was branded, you know, branded goods. So yeah, there you go. I'm good at shopping online. Yeah, I love shopping online. I think it's fantastic. And I remember years and years ago, before the internet came in, I remember there was a program and it was I think it was Tomorrow's World. And they were talking, this shows how stupid I am sometimes. And I remember them saying, and every home will have a display screen and a keyboard and a way of paying with a credit card to order a variety of different goods over the computer and a phone line. And then the goods will arrive at your house, blah, blah, blah. And I remember thinking to myself, how do the things arrive at the house? Will there be like a little, like a hatch and a conveyor belt? And then they'll just appear, a bit like the Generation game. And the goods that you've ordered will just appear. I'm not sure why my mind didn't even consider it would just be delivered like a delivery is. I just had this vision of things just arriving in your home. A little bit like those drone deliveries that they have now. Never seen one round here, and I've never seen one of those little robots going down the street either, Paul.
No.
No, I'm surprised they're not hijacked more often. Yeah. Thornton's. Derek, it probably was Thornton's because there was a Thornton's in Wilmslow, which is where they lived. Linda, chocolate cornflake nests. I'm going to be making them with shredded wheat, proper little nests. Yeah. Silvery foil, Judy. Yes, of course. They always looked so lovely, the eggs, didn't they? Jenny, you remember Quick Save. Ali, you remember Quick Save. It was dangerous, Quick Save, wasn't it? Great prices, but a risk of death. Waitrose is very fancy. That's why we don't shop there, apart from the All-Bran. Well, what do we get from Sainsbury's, Paul?
Earl Grey tea.
Earl Grey tea when it's on offer. We only get offers. We only get offer things. Paul's canny like that.
The yeast extract.
Yeast extract.
Because Lidl only do Marmite.
And Sainsbury's do a low salt one.
Low salt one.
Yeah. Netto. Yes, Netto.
Crackers. Those rye crackers when they're on offer. £1 instead of 1.60.
We don't need the full list, Paul. Thank you very much.
You asked.
Cool. Joanne. Exactly. Quick Save cardboard boxes to put your shopping into. Exactly. Well, good, Jenny. We used to go, when I lived in Harrow, Harrow and Wealdstone, me and my friend Angie used to go and do the shopping at the local Quick Save, and it was just great. Absolutely great. They won't be prickly once they've got chocolate on, Sally. The middle aisle, well, I'm still waiting, Derek, for a yarn event to occur. That is one of the reasons why I will go to Lidl when a yarn event occurs. And I'm still waiting for that. Quick save, Tony, exactly, with the K, KWIK. Well, that's the thing, isn't it? Chocolate factory workers and biscuit factory workers. The bosses know that within a week they're going to be sick of it, so they're not going to steal anything. Yeah. Lidl do Earl Grey, Paul.
Yeah.
Was it cheaper from Sainsbury's, though?
Yeah.
There you go, Sally, you heard it here first. Exactly, Tony. £1 delivery. Marmite is 4 for 3. We don't shop at Tesco. I used to shop at Tesco. I used to like a wander around the big Tesco at Osterley or Scion Lane, whatever it's called. Massive, massive Tesco. You could walk around for hours, and I used to love a mosey around that in the days when I had disposable income. Sorry, just catching up with the comments. We've got 86 people watching at the moment. Thank you. Australia is so much more expensive. Okay. Wow. I didn't know that. Charity shops, yeah, I don't tend to do the charity shops.
Ours don't do yarn.
Paul has had a look on a couple of occasions and not seen any yarn. Cheryl, you remember Quick Save as well. Lovely. Smith's Crisps, Monster Munch, lovely. Jenny, you're going to Poland tomorrow. Fresh supermarket food is more expensive there. Wow. I've got no idea of prices, really. I've got no experience when it comes to things like food prices. Yeah, but how much do we spend on a typical week, Paul, for the two of us?
I think it's about £60.
It's about £60 our
60,
food bill.
65.
And it goes up and down depending on whether we're stocking up. Ronnie, you work in Jacobs. You could buy really cheap biscuits. Oh, I remember club biscuits. Love a club biscuit. How much is wine nowadays compared to how it used to be? Because we used to spend what?
£4.50.
Anything,
now it's £5.56.
Anything between, I don't know, £2.50 and £10, I suppose. You used to be able to buy cheap Blanc, didn't you?
Yeah.
Just having a look at the comments. Oh dear. Oh, Sarah. Cancer research have yarns. Have we got a cancer research shop in our local area?
I think there's one.
Is there one in West Ealing? Yeah, there is. Sorry, just catching up with the comments. So Jenny, with the allotment, it depends on what's coming in. For example, the other day we had some fresh rocket. What else have we had?
Well, last year we had salad leaves. I think we'll have salad leaves from
the
middle of April through to the end of October.
Fresh salad all summer, generally fresh tomatoes from sort of what?
August.
Yeah, July, August onwards.
Beetroot,
Beetroot,
turnips.
turnips, squash. So it doesn't really contribute sort of to the weekly shop, but stuff comes in and we use it, and obviously don't have to buy the equivalent at the shop, you know. It depends on what Paul's grown and what actually, you know, does do successfully.
I mean, usually raw beans are fabulous, but last year they all
Yeah,
black fly.
yeah, we had no broad beans last year. We've had years where we've had onions, you know, good onions. We were given some potatoes by a plot neighbour a few weeks ago. They were fantastic. We didn't have to buy potatoes for a few weeks, you know. So it's supplements. We're not really what you could describe as self-sufficient at all,
No.
you know, nowhere near. But it's seasonal. That's, I guess, how you can describe it, seasonal food. And occasionally there is a glut. So, you know, courgettes, when they come in, we'll make courgette style recipes and have grated courgette salads for weeks, you know. And of course, was it last year I made scarpaccia?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did in fact, I think a little series of 6 courgette recipes. Scarpaccia, if you've never had it, gorgeous, fantastic. So yeah, and it is hit and miss having an allotment because the growing conditions change from year to year, and yeah, you're never really guaranteed. And of course, even with things like tomatoes, you can get to a certain point and blight can strike and wipe out your whole crop.
Yeah, 72 went one year in
Yeah,
overnight.
yeah. So, you know, it's yeah, hit and miss. And also it depends on the compost you get, all of these things. It's quite risky. Catherine, your parents were self-sufficient in fruit and veg and fruit. A walled garden. Yeah, love a walled garden. Well, Paul does do a plot tour occasionally, don't you, Paul?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I do it in a week at the plot now, mainly.
Yeah. So you can have a look. I mean, Paul features his plot regularly on his Week at the Plot, which is out on a Monday. I love courgettes, but I prefer them when they're cooked and browned. I did some quick roasted courgettes last year. That's a really good recipe, and they had a crumb sort of coating. What did I use? Did I use quinoa? I can't remember. I used something to coat them and bake them, and they were lovely, absolutely gorgeous. We're not really into fermented foods that much. So no, we haven't tried that. You remember The Good Life? Yeah, we do too. We watched The Good Life recently. And of course, my favourite character is Margot. She's my spirit animal. Any more thought on doing a live, Paul? You keep getting asked.
I said 2036.
2036. Really? Yeah. We visited a walled garden. We went on holiday and many years ago to Wales for a long weekend. And the hotel that we stayed in had a beautiful, massive walled garden. And that was just delightful. And the hotel grew most of its fruit and veg. Yeah. Yeah, you have to take the bags to the door, don't you?
Mm.
So they don't provide bags
No.
at all. Mm. Scotch eggs. No, I haven't made Scotch eggs because we don't eat sausage meat, so we'd have to find an alternative. To be honest, I don't really like Scotch eggs. so I probably wouldn't make them. Who made Scotch eggs on TV the other day? Somebody did, and they were
Prue
enormous.
Leith.
Was that on Prue Leith? Can't remember. Catching up. So many comments. Yes, Tony, he does. I'll do it with you if you want, Paul.
2036.
I'll help you.
I've got it in my diary.
Yeah, right. I don't like courgettes when they're watery. I like them really baked. Love them. Yes, I remember that, Caroline. No, we won't be doing Scotch eggs. Don't build your hopes up. We have to come up with a meat alternative. I guess we'd have to use vegetarian sausages and take them out of their skins, and it would be a bit of a faff. Yeah. Sarah, Hewenden Manor, we certainly have. And we've been round the walled garden. Yeah. In fact, Hewenden is on our list of places to go to again because we've really enjoyed it. And of course, they've got the War Museum there, haven't they? With all the sets of the little 1940s living room and all of the decor. It's fantastic. Really enjoyed that visit. And I think we've been a couple of times, haven't we? We took your mum and dad there.
Yeah.
On one of our visits. Yeah. It's really good. Yeah, sage and onion stuffing. Yeah, they're just not my favourite thing to make, really. In fact, eggs, I use them in cooking, and I kind of don't mind egg mayonnaise, but they're not my favourite thing, to be honest. If I start to think about what they are, yeah, it can put me off. I don't like any kind of food. When I was a meat eater, I didn't like anything that was in the shape of the animal or with a head on. No. Yeah, Hewendon's really recommended. Audley End. No, I've never been to Audley End, but I once, when I worked for Ticketmaster, we were the box office for the English Heritage Concerts, Music on a Summer Evening, it was called, and they had a venue at Audley End that we used to sell tickets for. So I do know it, know the name and know the venue. Well, yeah, you can just use veggie sausages, break them open uncooked and use that. Okay, we're at 58 minutes, so I'm going to wind up now, guys, and say goodbye. Thank you, it's been super fun. We've had a giggle, haven't we? So I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for joining me this evening. I really appreciate it. I really do. We appreciate any views we get now. We really, really do. Let's do the crowns before we finish. Let's see who's shot to the top. Okay, so at number 10, it's Kevin. Number 9, Karen at the plot. Number 8 is Sally. Number 7 is Ali. Number 6 is Tony. Number 5, Derek. Number 4, David. 3 is Catherine Woodhead. 2 is Mandy Mullet. And number 1 is Leslie. Woohoo! Great. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Clocks forward, spring forward. I'm so pleased you enjoyed it. Thank you so much. Have a good weekend yourself. Enjoy your chocolate organ. Thank you so much, everybody. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much for listening to that. Take care, everybody. Bye for now. I'm going to put the phone down first. I am. No, I am. We'll see you for Sunday chat on Sunday.
Sunday chat.
Bye for now. Thank you, everybody. Bye. Have a good weekend yourselves too. Bye for now.